FunPop. 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 And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to FunPop. This is episode number 9, and we have, as always, 3-Bit and Psychonauts here to have some fun with all of you people. Thank you for being here in the chat and watching after on YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever the hell you listen or watch this on. Thank you. We appreciate it. We're gonna have a fun show. We got some cool stuff to talk about today. But first I want to say hi to my two fellas, my brothers. What's going on? Psychonauts, what's up, dude? How's it going?
I'm pretty good. I got some sushi today because everyone started talking about sushi and the freaking on Twitter, so got me hungry. And then
Nice.
yeah, and then I had the maintenance guy came over to the house today to change some things, and I'm like, odd. He just dropped by out of the blue, didn't no text, nothing.
No,
so,
that's not good. Did you have any? Did you share your sushi with the maintenance guy?
no, that was before.
Okay.
I got it after he left because I wasn't about to leave with him in my house.
Right.
Other than that, it's been a fairly chill day. So ready for tonight's podcast.
Yep. Gonna be a fun show. Some cool stuff happening tonight, and going forward. We're gonna get 3-Bit's thoughts on one of those things soon, because he has exclusive access somehow to something. What's up, 3-Bit? What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey guys, I'm 3-Bit, the host of FunPop, and you guys are watching episode 9. We have Mav here, we have Psycho, and we're gonna talk about Mortal Kombat. So Mav, what were your thoughts on Mortal? I'm just kidding. I want to see how long I could have did that. I'm good. I am I helped my friend with my car woes today, and now I'm here. So
yeah, what a friend. Not only are you a multi-talented creator, animator, artist, poet, actor extraordinaire, podcaster. Geez, what else is there? Holy crap! Halo Pro. Not only are you all those things, you're also a car. You're a rescue ranger, or let's say you're a member of Paw Patrol. You were ready on the double for your friends. So hey, shout out to you. Did he treat you to some food after to say thank you? Because that's
he did actually.
Yeah, that's always a nice thing to do. Hey
pizza,
bud,
we got some pizza, got some awesome like noodle stuff.
Pizza and noodles.
Good things. Pizza and noodles.
Hey, accurate combination.
It was really good.
Was the noodles on the pizza though?
That should be a thing. I don't know if that's a thing, but someone make it a thing. I'm sure that might be really that could be really good actually.
If you think of it, spaghetti and meatballs is kind of pizza on noodles.
It's just a spread out pizza.
Yeah, you got the sauce.
If it was like,
you got the meat. You got the meatballs. If you got a beef pizza, hamburger pizza. You got the meat. Then you got a lot of people sprinkle the cheese on the spaghetti meatballs. Go with the cheese. You're getting pretty close.
You put the spaghetti and made it flat and made it like a like a bread. Maybe you freeze it or something. I don't know. How do you make a? Anyways, that could be the bread.
I think I know the solution here. What you would want to do is you want to get it like a cast iron skillet. Okay. Then you want to put some noodles all together, right? You dip them in some egg wash. And then you also put them in some flour. right? And then you press the noodles flat in like a cast iron skillet, and you create like a noodle fried thing.
Hey,
Then
we're chefs on this
you put
show.
the pizza on top of that.
We know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, nobody take any cooking advice from me. That's for sure.
Hey, everybody in chat. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I had a crispy chicken tender sandwich for lunch today.
Oh, nice. It's nice to see what everybody's eating today. So Psycho's eating some sushi. You had a chicken sandwich. I had some pizza.
Yep.
Yeah. Combined, we become the Avengers, I guess.
No, I did not say I put goat cheese in my spaghetti.
Okay, I was about to say.
No.
I thought I was like, hold on, did he just say he put goat cheese?
No.
Going over. I love feta cheese.
Either mozzarella or Parmesan. Now growing up, we put cheddar on pasta a lot, but that's because I'm in Texas and that's just weird stuff that we do here.
Hey,
you guys do have weird stuff over there. You still need to explain to me, like, why do you guys have so much diet water? Like when I was over there, I still don't know why.
You keep saying that. I think everybody has like the smart water and all that stuff. Like I don't think
the point
that's
of diet water.
Well, there's so it's not really diet water. They have like different pH levels for like for the water for like different acidity levels, right? So that's like where that comes in. Right.
So the brand is just called diet water, and then it's
I've never seen the brand diet water. I've seen smart water. That we got Essentia. We got all those, and those are like, more alkaline or whatever you want to say. I think is what it is, like lower pH, and it's supposed to balance out your system or whatever. So there's a lot of that, but I don't think that's a Texas exclusive thing. I've never really. Maybe it is.
When I went to Texas, that's the only thing I remember. I went to like multiple like weird gas stations, and they all had diet water. And I'm like, why? And that's the only thing I remember about your.
I think maybe you need to take another trip to Texas just to like erase that whole situation out of your mind, because maybe you were focused on the wrong thing. just potentially. I don't know. Just potentially. Shout out to the chat. We got, hey, Pat, good morning for you, sir. I know it's super early for you there. How's it going, dude? I see, hey, 3-Bit and Psychonauts from the chat. What's up, guys? How's it going? Mike is in Original Next Level Gaming is currently doing a podcast right now as he's hanging out with us in our chat. And I'm going to go say hi in their chat just because that's what awesome supporters do of each other. Hi, Mike. I just typed that in his chat. He's awesome too. He's hanging out here. We got Country Gentleman hanging out there. By the way, he also, shout out to Country Gentleman because he gave me a code that we can give away tomorrow on Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Awesome. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow as well. We got Caper Grant, or as I know him, Paul Grant, Rick Payne, Pong Soul, all you people freaking rock. Thank you for being here. All right, so this is a podcast about something other than diet water and pizza noodles.
Pizza noodles.
So we could, we could go into that realm more, or we could discuss maybe a movie that you had the chance to see, 3-Bit, that I am either going to stay up really late tonight and watch, or I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that movie is Mortal Kombat, which I have a deep love of Mortal Kombat. In fact, I actually liked all the other Mortal Kombat movies. I've never seen a Mortal Kombat movie that I didn't at least enjoy, even though they're kind of stupid and they look kind of silly.
Annihilation.
Yeah. But they're fun, right? So
they are definitely fun, yeah.
Hey Lupa, how are you doing? I want to know because you actually had a chance to see this movie. And you told me that you have some thoughts on it that you wanted to share. So now, without spoiling anything, because nobody besides you has seen this movie yet, because you have exclusive access from Raiden himself.
Raiden, electrified down, gave me a copy. He's like, "This is for FunPop," and then he went back in the sky.
Yeah, is that what he did? It was like a big thunder crash.
Like, yeah, here's a copy. He went back up. So here, I guess I should review this for you guys. Now, here's the thing. I'm not gonna spoil it. We'll probably do like a part 2 of this conversation, sort of like we did with King Kong and
Godzilla. Yeah, because me and Psychonaut saw that before you did.
Yeah, so now it's the reverse. How you like them apples?
I know.
I like it. I like them apples.
I thought it was really good. I thought, first off, the action mixed with the gore, I thought was really cool. I like some of the special effects was like pretty good. It was like in and out, actually. It felt like to me, like some of the CGI was amazing, and then some I was like, okay, that could have used a little a little polish here and there. But I'm not even gonna give this a rating. That's my overall impression. We're gonna talk about this again on episode 10, and then we will all give our ratings then, because I want to think about this a little bit more. But I thought it was a great movie. There's some characters. I'll say Sub-Zero is my favorite character in the games, and dang, they gave him some cool moments in this one. So I'll just say that, and that's all, because I don't want to spoil anything. I want you guys to see it, whether you hated it or loved it. I thought it was pretty good. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I see Lady said she's gonna take her boys to go see it. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be a fun. I forgot it's in theaters and also HBO Max. I just assume it's only digital for some reason. But yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Now, did they show, now without saying, but did they show other characters that were not in the trailer?
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I wanted to know. So
okay. Yeah, I don't want to, like, that is what we'll probably be saving for episode 10, because I have a lot of thoughts on that.
All right.
But yeah.
I have a couple ideas and thoughts of who it was, but I'll wait for it. I'll reserve it until tomorrow when I watch it. Well, technically later tonight. I'll be definitely messaging you when I'm done watching it. Like, bro,
yeah, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. For people in chat when you guys watch it, and then you guys, I would love to hear everybody's thoughts on it, because that was pretty good. I want to see what people think.
Yeah, bro, I'm excited. You know, I did, like, the last Mortal Kombat movie I watched was that Scorpion one, the animated one, which I thought was really good.
Scorpion's Revenge. Is that what you're talking about?
Still haven't seen it.
It's great. Like, it's really good. I mean, it surprised me. You know, it held my attention. You know, but for live action Mortal Kombat, we haven't really gotten something real big like this in a long time, right? So, I think Is it got a little cheese to it? Would you say? I mean, is it like a little cheesy?
Yeah, a little bit.
I think
I would say every movie like that dives into something like this, like King Kong has some cheese in certain ways. Like,
I think you need to have a little cheese, right, for something like this, right? It makes it more fun, you know. It doesn't have to be. I mean, it can't be all serious, right? So,
yeah. Some cheese, a little sprinkle, some cheese,
little sprinkle of cheese,
some Parmesan.
Lighthearted cheesiness.
I would say it has some Parmesan, you know, and some Alfredo in there, you know, some good cheese.
Cool. Yeah, that's
awesome.
awesome.
See the poster. I just noticed Psycho's poster behind. I don't know why. I just now noticed. Good stuff.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
I've always been a Sub-Zero fan growing up, so that's and the trailers, watching that, oh my god, it got me excited. I was just like, oh, we're gonna finally see a great Sub-Zero finally, and a good Scorpion. So that's always been the two, you know, when you think of Mortal Kombat, at least prior to to X, it's always been Scorpion and
versus Sub.
Zero.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's a feud. So it's great to see it in the theater. So or at home in my
Such a
case.
cool thing in the film. Like they fight in the trailer.
Yeah.
Dang, cool.
It was
Freaking
really
cool.
really good.
I like yeah.
So is it even better when he freezes that blood and stabs him with it? So there's like
because you get to
really
see
bad
like what leads like the fight that leads up to that moment, right? Yeah, I got a Scorpion fan in chat. I've always been a Sub-Zero person, but in the games you can tell like Ed Boon is a Scorpion person.
He's come out and said he's Scorpion's fan.
He loves Scorpion, but I've always been like Sub-Zero person. I've always loved. As a kid, I was very much because I was into like Bruce Lee and stuff. So I loved what's his name?
Luke Kang.
Liu Kang, right? Yeah. Growing up, Liu Kang, then transitioned to Jax for a bit. And then I think Jax wasn't in a couple games. So then I just started liking Sub-Zero. Yeah, that was my jam.
Yeah. I definitely liked the introduction of Kung Lao. Like he was, I don't know what it was. Like after when they did the I don't know if you guys played it, but the one-off, it was Liu Kang and Kung Lao, the Shaolin Monks Mortal Kombat video game. I don't know if you guys remember that.
No, I don't.
But that was like, God, that was back in 2000 or so. It had to been like 2002-ish. But yeah, they made it was, but it's like the adventures of Liu Kang and King Lao, and they, go fight off.
I see like lady says Melina is I always get
That's
them mixed
who
up.
Kate
Is
likes
Melina
too.
the teeth
Yes.
one?
Yeah,
She wears a
Milena
mask.
is in the picture.
And then in the first game she was in, you didn't know she had that until after she took it off, like after like a certain move or whatever, right? Then it was like, oh, hey, okay, that's interesting, right? That's Kate's favorite character too. Is Melina.
Jade is the green.
Yes,
one,
Jade
right?
is green.
So Jade is green. Melina is like the purple one, right?
Katana's blue.
And Katana's blue. Okay. Because they all used to just, for those who don't know, they all just used to be colors.
Yeah.
For the most part. And then eventually over time they became more of like they added more stories to those people. So like for the most part, Sub-Zero, Scorpion were just ninjas who in different colors. And then over time.
That was the same thing with Reptile, Smoke, Noob Sabat. Noob Sabat was all black. Smoke was the gray with he was emitting the smoke, and then Reptile was green, but he was human. And then I don't have to forget if it was 3 that he actually kind of went reptile.
Yeah, I believe because the first one it was very limited. It had like 6 characters or something small, and then the second one is when things started to change a lot. But the third one, I just the third one was like my favorite for a long time. It's like I played it on the Sega Genesis, and I remember the SNES version of one of the Mortal Kombat was really censored. It had like no blood and stuff like that.
That was the NES when Sega had blood and NES didn't. So that's why it was like the cool thing to have the Sega, because you play Mortal Kombat with blood.
Yeah, that was the thing. Right. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. You guys go watch it. Let me know what you think.
It seems like the early user reviews are pretty positive because it's got a 7 on IMDb, which is fairly good for this type of movie, right? Critically, it's not doing great, but it's got a 44 on Metacritic. But also you have like Polygon gave it like a 85, and IGN gave it a 70, and like film critics are always going to be pretty tough on movies like this, so I wouldn't weigh too much into if that's going to affect your enjoyment of it or not. Basically,
you'll definitely enjoy this more if you're a fan. That's why I said that. Like, if you guys are a fan of Mortal Kombat, this movie is like uh, you would probably enjoy it more than someone who's just jumping in like, who's Sub-Zero? Who's Scorpion? Like us seeing it on screen, we have this sort of thing where it's like, oh, these are characters we sort of grew up with, as characters we played, um, and we expect like certain things about those characters, and it's cool to see that on screen. And for people who are just jumping in, like I heard about this Mortal Kombat series, let me watch it for the first time as a critic, and then probably not going to have as good of a time as the people who love Mortal Kombat.
And we have a
Probably
super
not.
sticker here from our man Psychonauts. Thank you, sir.
Wow, thank you, Psycho.
Thank you for the
what do you say? You hype
donation.
Hype.
It's hype.
hype.
It's a
Hype.
hippo hype.
Hype
it looks
hippo.
like. That's awesome, dude. I've never experimented with the stickers that much, but that's I kind of like that one of the hype hippo. That's awesome. Thanks, bro.
That's cool.
So
I'm sorry, but I just saw the little. I'm like, oh, there's a little super chat and super sticker freaking icon. I'm like, okay, I got to do a super sticker. Sorry.
yeah, no, you're good, dude. Thank you for that, man. Yeah, we hit 1,000 subs last week, so it was a milestone for the channel. So that gives extra features for people to play around with. So thank you for the support, dude, and not for that, but just hanging out with us on Xbox Ultimate and on FunPop. You guys are awesome. So yeah, I had to stop playing that trailer because I got a notification on my stream that we have detected copyright audio or video on your content.
What?
Yeah, so I was like,
I didn't even hear anything.
Yeah, I had the audio off. It was for the video, I guess, for the trailer.
How does YouTube know? That means someone's watching.
I don't know. We're sitting here trying to talk about their movie and hype it up and stuff, and say, hey, everybody, check it out, and then like show something that's just that they have for free on YouTube, right?
Wonder if it's like we say Mortal Kombat a certain amount of times and YouTube.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat, Warner Brothers. What? Mortal Kombat, Warner Brothers. Mortal Kombat, Warner Brothers. Mortal Kombat, Warner Brothers. Maybe Ed Boon will appear and say Toasty. All right.
Ed Boon.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, we have another happy hippo with super fast flash look like running legs. Thanks, Paul Grant. You're awesome, dude. Thanks for the support. But yeah, I was like, I guess I can't play like that kind of stuff on the stream.
Which is weird because I don't know how other people can get away with that.
No, we
I see them do it all the time. So
play it right now, man. We do what we want on this channel. We're fun.
Well, so I'll probably have to have this podcast unlisted after the stream is up, but we'll see.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah. Sorry guys, I want to play that video content for you guys, but apparently the either the YouTube gods or Warner Brothers or somebody is like, no, don't promote our product. Don't tell the people about us.
It's Raiden coming in again.
Yeah.
Like,
it was down. Disney. It was Disney Plus. They didn't want us to promote HBO Max.
Hey, now you're onto something. Now you're onto something, bro. So, all right, I'm super excited to watch the movie. I know that you guys are excited. You are excited to watch it. So we'll give our thoughts on the movie without any video content for you guys next week.
It's very hard for me not to spoil certain things, and it's frustrating.
So
I just take it that there's some cool stuff that happens that you feel like you want to spoil. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, if you're listening, please watch Mortal Kombat by next Thursday, so you don't have any spoilers, or anything ruined for you. So please watch it.
Yeah,
it comes out tomorrow,
tonight at 3 a.m.
Wait, go watch it now.
or other means possible.
That's probably why they're looking there like, what? Raiden. That's where he went.
That's where he went.
How did he talk about? How does he know this already about the movie? Oh, we gotta shut this down.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, That's not the only cool thing that's happening. We also got a Shang Chi and the Ten Rings trailer that hit. I did have that prepared to play in the background as well. Should I? Maybe.
Yeah.
Do it.
Maybe it's Warner Brothers.
Do it.
You know. Maybe.
My test for like a good trailer, like my dad, of course, my dad worked for Marvel, right? And he loves like certain films. He loves Marvel films, but my test of if a trailer is good is how he reacts to it sometimes.
Right.
So I showed him this trailer. At first he was just like, oh, okay, you showing me another trailer or whatever. And then he started watching, like, whoa, okay. He was getting excited. He was like, this is cool. He's like, what is this called? Okay, all right, I'm down. That's like my he's like my little review score for certain trailers, just to see.
He's your go-to.
Yeah, just to see how he reacts to different trailers. And this looks awesome, dude. I'm really excited for how they're gonna portray Shang-Chi and also congrats to Marvel. They're doing some stuff with their characters, and they're not afraid to go wacky with their stories, and also make sure they follow the lore at the same time, while also it's like this weird thing where they can take creative liberty but also honor their stories, and I love the way they do that. So looking forward to this movie. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, this looks amazing. Like watching like the last couple days I've been on this like freaking like Asian movie kick, and I watched the Ying Yang Masters and Naja. So watching this, I was just like, it got me hyped. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna look amazing. And having Marvel to show us like their take on a martial arts movie is gonna be just I think it's gonna blow our minds.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's the takeaway from me, is like a Marvel superhero martial arts movie, because they've always one of the things that Marvel's done is had all these different genres within the MCU, right? And this is just another one that we get, right, that they haven't hit on yet, and we're gonna get that with this, and it's exciting because, you know, very popular genre of movies out there. Like it kind of reminds me of like some of the effects you get from like movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and some of that stuff, right, where it's like really like mystical and like just.
I didn't get that feeling till that one spinning part with with that, I guess, villain, or maybe someone who's training him or something. Like for a while, the trailer in 3 parts gave me like different vibes of like what they're going for. Like in the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. It's like an underground sort of thing where he's just training and stuff. And then they surprise you with like the sequence where he's fighting that person with the leaves blowing. I'm like, oh, whoa, there's a lot of cool like Asian influence in there. And then in the third act, they reminded me of like a mixture of like, I don't know, like an MCU movie like Doctor Strange or something like that, where you get to you know, they're fighting these villains in the public, and you see basically the ramifications of who this character is, and how he fits into the world of the MCU. So there was one guy in the trailer, I don't know if you guys seen it, he was sitting down in the bus. He was in Homecoming.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the guy who's like, hey, Spider-Man, do a backflip.
Oh, really?
He was in the bus. I'm pretty sure. I just saw it like right now.
Do you think Spider-Man could have a cameo in this?
I don't think so. It's in San Fran. I don't know how he got from New York to San Fran.
Well, actually, he's like in space right now, isn't he? Like, isn't he like gone right now? I forget where did Spider-Man leave off?
He got exposed.
He was in high school.
He was in high school, and then at the end, people figured out who he was.
Yeah,
that's right, because the video on the like Times Square thing or whatever of like Mysterio like saying who his identity is and framing him for being trying to call him out as being a bad guy, right? That's where we were left off, right? Okay, I remember now. Yeah.
No, I think that the guy that was training him, that's Death Dealer in the comics. So that's who that guy is.
Mm.
So there's
What the guy with the mask is what you're talking about?
the mask with the red
That
pinstriping.
mask, whoever did that mask that's such a sick mask. It's so cool.
Yeah.
That was like when I saw him, I'm like, that's like a cosplay type mask. Or I can't tell if it's face paint or a mask, but it looks cool.
It's a mask. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool because I like how they're tying. I don't know if you guys remember, but like from Iron Man 1 through 3 and Ant-Man, they've been dropping hints of the Legend of the Ten Rings in all those movies to kind of like keep us like, hey, don't forget, Legend of the Ten Rings is still going on, and they've been around since a very long time. And it's cool, like how all the movies are tied together. Now, they don't have to talk about it. All they have to do is show like a neck tattoo and the guy in Ant-Man, and then they talk, in Iron Man they talk about the Legend of the Ten Rings. So I think tying it all together just with visuals is really cool because it's like, it's a new character, but we kind of have a little bit of the lore, a little bit of what's going on, because in Shang Chi's father, from what I guess from, is going to be the actual Mandalorian, not Mandalorian.
Mandalore. Is it the Mandalore? What's gosh. Now you got me messed up because
I know
the Mandarin.
Yeah. So Shang-Chi's father is the Mandarin, and he has the 10 rings. So like he's trying, growing up in the trailer, it's like he was trying to train him to be his successor, and he's like, no, I don't want to do that. So
yeah,
it's definitely interesting how that's all going to play out, and where this storyline is going to go and tie into the entire Marvel universe. So maybe we can see Iron Fist, maybe a real good version of Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Maybe we will. Hey guys, we got a super chat from maybe you know this guy. His name is 3-Bit Video Games HD. He says great show. Hey, thanks 3-Bit in the chat.
Hey, thanks
guys.
Man.
You guys crack me
Appreciate
up,
it. Myself.
Hey, again to you, thank you 3-Bit for not just the support, but also for hanging out with me on Thursdays and Fridays, especially, dude, and playing games with me, not letting me be lonely. Keeping me company.
I want to play some Zombie Army.
Heck yeah! Oh man, Zombie Army's a blast. And shout out also, quick shout out to Pachu in the chat. He recently just got engaged. So
congrats!
I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm holding it together. It's not because I'm not crying because Pachu got engaged. I'm gonna sneeze. All right, no, I held it. Freaking congratulations, bro. That is amazing. Happy for you. Hope you have an amazing life together. So yeah, so guys, come on now, Psychonauts. It's like what Psychonaut says, thank you 3-Bit. Would I expect my 2 panel members hanging out here with me leaving super chats? No, I would not do that. I would not expect that, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, it's fun.
Yeah. You got to get in the Zombie Army.
Do I respond to that, or do I?
No, you don't.
I'm confused.
No, you don't. So, all right. So Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. We have. Can you? Are either of you familiar with the Ten Rings, like from the comics and how that shit works.
Shang Chi is
I
the
don't.
one comic I didn't read as much. I read it a little bit. Um, it kind of reminds me of like the Doctor Strange books, just like in terms of like how popular he is. Um, like Doctor Strange, he's a little bit more popular now that he's had movies and he's had some cartoons and stuff. But in terms of like his popularity, I wouldn't say Shang Chi is like up there. But I think that's smart of Marvel to do because they usually bring characters like that to the limelight, and then you get those people like I always love Shang Chi, even though that's not the case, right?
Right.
Um, so like a Guardians of the Galaxy sort of situation where first off, I want to say Guardians of the Galaxy comic books are not that good. I think they're kind of terrible, actually.
Yeah, but they make great movies, right?
But the movies, yeah, I actually really like the movies and how they portray like the team and stuff like that and whatever. But the comics, I never liked it. I I always like kind of hated it. I don't know, but the movies are incredible. And what Marvel is really good at is bringing characters that uh brings those people into the limelight because they have thousands and thousands of characters, and
Yeah.
they all have pretty cool origin stories, and they feature in like other people's stories and stuff like that. So um they could literally do this till the end of time. They could just keep bringing in new
Yeah,
characters.
they could. There's so many.
They have like a 50-year plan. I'm pretty sure.
And real quick, Paul Grant again, another $5 super chat. Hey, thank you again, sir. He says, "I want to play too," in reference to Zombie Army 4. Well, you were super fun to play games with. We've played with you a couple times now, so you have a open invite, man. So anytime
for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think we'll be playing
anybody
tonight,
that's
but well, maybe Mav will play, so maybe you guys can play with Mav.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm down to play some Zombie Army tonight. It sounds like fun.
Anyone that's positive in the community, we're down to play. You know?
Yeah, we don't really tolerate toxicness and stuff, stuff like that. But nice people, we like.
Cool.
So, yeah, new characters. Now, what I want to get into though is every one of these movies, there's been some kind of crossover with characters and other characters introduced somehow. So, and they a lot of times come, or almost always they come as a surprise. Do you think we'll get like cameos, other characters in this movie? Because they gotta at some point in this movie, I would think they have to connect this to what's going on in the rest of the MCU, right?
Yeah.
So will we see Nick Fury just make an appearance at the end, right?
I mean, I thought of Nick Fury. I'm trying to remember the name of the other guy Shang-Chi sometimes fights with. It's like the master of kung fu or whatever. What's his name?
Maybe we'll see like another character that they haven't done a lot with that's been in some of the other movies or something. Maybe War Machine or something like that. I don't know. Just trying to think outside the box. What could they do?
Like an Iron Fist or something could make an appearance. Like he fights with like the difference between what's cool about the Marvel universe is these characters can never interact with each other.
Yeah.
Or they could. I think people always like the Marvel films because it's the potential that they can, and they think that's pretty cool. But in terms of Shang-Chi, his comics are so different from like other Marvel comic books, like in terms of the people he faces, the stories he has. That's why I compare it to like Doctor Strange. Like if you read the Doctor Strange books, they're pretty much like horror books. They're nothing. They're just very different. I'm talking about the original. I don't know how it is now, but the original like Doctor Strange books were just pretty much like short horror stories. And Shang-Chi, it very feels like it feels like he's kind of like in his own bubble as well with the characters he has. Now, not to say he's not going to team up with anybody. I'm just saying like the characters that might cameo could be referencing the the characters he fights in the comics, or
Right. I get what you're saying. Like introduce an opportunity to introduce even more, right? Like as opposed to ones that we're already familiar with. So, because like okay, so Hawkeye, right? He lives in like the Avengers movies, right? Black Widow has lived in the Avengers movies and in the Captain America movies, right? Bucky has lived in the Captain America movies, War Machine and the Iron Man movies, right? And there's like there a lot of these certain characters don't really cross over into many of the other franchises. You know what I mean? So you got the Wasp that lives in the Ant-Man movies, you know. So there could be, you know, another character either introduced, or we could see potentially somebody crossover into this world. I think there's going to be, not necessarily with like, I'm not saying like Hawkeye is going to go in there and team up with Shang Chi or anything like that, but there could be characters that we are familiar with make an appearance in some way to tie everything in with the story, like an introduction of like, okay, wow, oh, he didn't know all this stuff existed, or you know, hey, it's cool, get to meet you, like, so you know, just something interesting that's because I think they're gonna build on him as a character going forward. It's gonna probably play some vital role if this is one of the next big movies in the MCU, right? So excited to see what becomes of that. Do you think there's any crossover with any of the other main characters, or do you think there'll be new characters introduced, but like that are gonna become important? Psychonauts.
Well, definitely, probably Iron Fist. I mean, even though we had a Netflix series that wasn't, I mean, it wasn't the best, but I think with the Iron Fist, you bring um, there were or no, Jessica Jones, uh, Luke Luke Cage. You bring in
Yeah, well, they had the whole
Daredevil,
Defenders, all the Defenders. So you got
the
like
Defenders.
Punisher as well. I think was part of that whole
Yeah,
thing.
so
Elektra.
you know, you start off with bringing Iron Fist. That brings in all those other guys to do a Defenders movie that could help at the end of whatever this saga is going to be. Not sure, you know, we're still speculating on what the end game is going to be, as it was Thanos and that saga. What the end game for this one, who knows? But from, you know, things that people are speculating, it's huge, and they need all the help that they can get. So introducing, you know, Iron Fist introduces, you know, like Punisher and everyone that I just mentioned, and it would be um and finally get a good, because they did announce that I forget his name, but uh, the Punisher, uh, he was
Barenthal. What's his? I know him as Shane.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like
I
Shane
always
from
know him
Walking
as
Dead.
Shane.
But
It's John Bar. Is it John Barenthal? I know it's Barenthal. Yeah, it's John Barenthal.
I
Yeah.
was trying to get my sister on here.
Oh, were you?
She,
Go
so
grab her. She probably is gonna spill more information for us than you ever do.
she said next time.
so so that definitely would definitely set up those characters, because he's going to do his own movie. Marvel's already mentioned that. So
So
to
Iron Fist
see,
will, or
no, the Punisher.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah, that
So
makes sense if they could do that. But you know, I think he's one of the better characters that they did with those Netflix series.
yeah,
The one thing about if they did Iron Fist, since they've introduced that as a show, right? On Netflix, the show didn't do that well compared to the other shows that they had.
What was that?
Would they roll with the same guy?
that was probably the worst one.
No, they will not. They will recast him. They will recast him.
I mean, Marvel's confident once they pick somebody, they're pretty confident with them because they don't want the DC situation where you have a million different.
Yeah, they recast War Machine, right? They recast Hulk. Were there any other major recast that we can think of? And Hulk was like early on. It was
Spider-Man
like almost like they didn't know
does it?
exactly everything that was going to happen yet.
Spider-Man doesn't really count.
Well,
No.
Spider-Man, he wasn't part of the MCU before,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, they're about to be. That's a.
Percent.
We should definitely talk about that. But I can't think of anybody.
No, I think that's it. Really, I think that's the two in the MCU that got typecast. That not typecast, but have been replaced as those two characters. And
Right. And each of them were like Terrence Howard.
What about Storm? No, that's still not the MCU. I was gonna say Storm.
Yeah, but that was
But
like
not
all
really.
of those characters were like the only one that wasn't recast from the original X-Men going into the other X-Men was Hugh Jackman.
And it was, I guess that was supposed to be their younger versions.
Yeah,
too,
it was like
so
their
it doesn't
younger
really count.
versions. Like the whole thing was like weird because you had Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy, and Halle Berry, and I don't know the other actress's name. And honestly, I didn't like that version of Storm either. It was kind of like
She
this
was
like
a trash Storm. Didn't like it.
Then there was a Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique Raven, and then there was jeez, I forget the other Rebecca Romaine Stamos, I think was the original one.
Rebecca remains.
She was an awesome Mystique. I liked her a little bit better.
A really good Mystique.
I don't know the name of either Jean Grey's, but the first one I think was better as well.
Yeah, I forgot her. I'll just call her Sansa, the girl from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Sansa was a new one,
and then the other Jean Grey.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the originals were better than what the younger versions were.
But the only like new people that really killed it in their roles, I would say, is Xavier and Magneto. I think they did.
I think the Beast guy was it Scott Holt? I think is his name, or Nick Holt.
Oh, he was a good
something.
Beast.
Nick
Yeah.
Holt. Is it Nick Holt?
He was
Or
also.
Scott, I can't remember his name. But yeah, he was pretty good.
He was in Mad Max.
Also,
yeah,
I freaking love that movie.
I like. Okay, so they had Anna Paquin was Rogue in the originals, right? Which they didn't put enough of her in the movies. Then
That's
who
a
else?
Wasted opportunity.
Yeah, it was such a wasted opportunity.
They screwed up Rogue. Rogue was. I loved her, at least in the X-Men freaking TV series.
Well, if you have a lot of Rogue, you need a lot of Gambit as well.
Yes.
And they just completely didn't acknowledge Gambit hardly at all, right? Like except for the in Origins Wolverine.
But that was not even good. I mean, look what they did with Deadpool in that one. It's like,
oh yeah, and then there was so then we had James Marsden with Cyclops. And dude, he did a good Cyclops, man. I liked him as Cyclops. Cyclops is supposed to be kind of this like cheesy, like dorky guy, kind of. You know what I mean? Like somebody that you would make fun of in a way, kind of like this preppy, like I'm gonna say a douche. Or something,
Yeah, he means, and that's why Wolverine hated him, and it was always that dynamic.
Yeah, it was kind of like this.
Destiny 2 News mentioned it. He wants them to tease Wolverine, which they should, but that's a whole other.
Yeah, maybe they'll have like some claw marks on a wall or some shit like that, just to like just put it out there, right?
I think that we're probably gonna get a Wolverine appearance in one of these movies very soon. I think because like I've said before, I think we're gonna have something.
No, because they're gonna save that sucker. That's why I think they're gonna save that because it's gonna be such a huge moment. I think. Oh, maybe you're right.
They could do a weapon.
They definitely
they could do a Weapon
people.
X.
Yeah. It was definitely testing people in WandaVision. Like, come on. They were just seeing like how people responded. They're like, you know. For the most part, I don't want any of the original people back besides maybe Xavier and Magneto. The rest can go.
Yeah, dude, Michael Fassbender was a great Magneto.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he just played he just played a good character. That I really liked his character that he portrayed. Right.
Yeah, they could recast the rest. I don't really. Yeah, it's fine.
Is Nicholas Holt? That's his name. Is Beast.
Good dude. Yeah.
Good so here's what I'm thinking.
It was. Huh? Go ahead.
No, you go first. You go first. I'll be polite.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
Okay, you lost your opportunity. All right. I wanted so second. I think you are probably right that they will do that, right, with Wolverine. But I'm speaking from my heart what I want. So you're probably right. But here's what I want. Okay. Here's what I want with them introducing the mutants in Marvel, like the X-Men and all that stuff, right? Okay, if like I said, like maybe a little tease of Wolverine, just like the claw marks on a tree, or some shit like that. Something like just like, hey, put it out there, like something's going on, right? I want there to be, a character introduced at the end of each one of these movies in the little like after scene things, right? With this like little mini story taking place, because like Marvel's always done the after end credits, right? And I want it to be like a continuation of like, okay, like you give us a minute after this movie, you give us a minute after this movie of just little plot points, right? And after each one of these next several movies, you connect the dots that lead up to like a big movie, okay? And I think one of the big moments in the movie that they introduce will be Wolverine. And I think it'll be because I think that they won't introduce Wolverine until they have the proper lead up of the story for Wolverine. Right? So like I think they need to start with the X-Men. Cuz from what I remember, Wolverine was a mysterious figure when he first appeared, right? Like it didn't remember who he was. Nobody knew who he was, right? He was just this guy that like was a badass, right? So I want to see the X-Men come together, or not necessarily even come together. Maybe they're already a thing. Maybe we realize they're a thing in this alternate reality or world or whatever is going to come to form, right? And in the first X-Men movie, I want to see the Wolverine find his way there, like in the first X-Men movie, you know, kind of in a way, except better, right? I want to see the team. I want to see Wolverine, and I want that to kick off the X-Men, because that's what I know of the X-Men, and I think the big moment will be like when maybe there's this guy out there causing all this havoc, and Professor X is trying to find him, right? And all of these X-Men are out there trying to find this guy, like who's doing all this stuff, and then they go after and they finally get him towards the end of the movie, and you know, then they try and help him, right? Portray him almost as a villain at first, right? Like they're going after him, and then they realize he's just a guy that doesn't know who he is and needs help. I don't know. I'm trying to like.
Yeah, I mean,
I want him to be so big. I want it to be such a freaking cool moment, you know.
What I'm thinking is that they won't show like Wolverine sitting there. Either they're going to show him either like a container or in a vat where Weapon X was being made, Wolverine,
right?
And you just pan over and you see the Weapon X plaque on the tank, and then it pans out. Then you know exactly who that is. Or we get a Logan in a bar and he's just smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Or like or you see a cigar like in the shadows, and you see a cigar light up, and then he just like walks into the light, and it's Wolverine, and then
Mm.
it's boom,
Now, do
end
you
credit.
think Marvel? Okay, so far, Marvel does this. They give a character, for the most part, their origin story, and then
Yeah.
they introduce them in other movies. Like that's has been like their philosophy. That's how I wanted DC to do it, honestly. And they're like, we're gonna do our own thing. Um, I think if we're basing it off of what Marvel usually does, yes, maybe we can have like a tease of like what Psycho's saying, maybe like a tube. Maybe we see Xavier's mansion. I'm thinking in Spider-Man that will lead to a lot of different things
Yeah.
because right now we're dealing with multiverses, and we know Doc Ock is in Spider-Man. We know the same Doc Ock that was in Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire is in this new Spider-Man 3 with um what's the
He was
dude's
a great
name?
Doc Ock. So
He was a great Doc Ock. And I always thought like when he at the end of Spider-Man 2 when he's like falling in the water that he would come back one day,
yeah.
and now we're finally possibly getting it. Um with the multiverses and Spider-Man, that's definitely gonna open up some things like where was the X-Men this whole time? They could definitely fill that gap. Where was the Fantastic Four? It's either gonna be the Fantastic Four that introduces the X-Men in some capacity, or it's going to be some weird multiverse thing. I'm thinking because unless they've been in hiding this whole time, which I can see like
Yeah.
mutants in hiding.
But like
Um,
in the whole X-Men storyline though, like mutants is like such a like political like in a huge worldwide thing where it's like there's so many of them out there, then they're seen as like it's like I personally love that aspect of the X-Men because you have like the okay, Magneto's against humans because they'll never accept mutants, right?
yep.
And then you have Professor X. It's like, hey, let's try and teach them that we're good people, right? And that we're like can be of use to humanity, and we are nothing to be afraid of. We're people too, right? You have that approach, right? And they butt heads, but they're also friends. And then there's this whole world that is like, you even have like they go into political votes, right? Like where things against mutants and for mutants, and that's what a lot of the stuff goes down to. So if they close it off where it's like there's just only a handful of mutants in the world and they're in hiding, I wouldn't personally like that because that would take away so much from the X-Men storyline and what makes that story special to me anyway.
Yeah, I don't think they should take that away. I mean, Magneto and Xavier are inspired by Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and their
Yeah,
different philosophies.
you can see that
Um,
when you watch
you
it.
could literally see it, and
Yeah,
it's super cool. Um, yeah, they should not get rid of that, and I think Marvel is for the most part will not. You know, they're very good at picking parts of stories and actually putting it on the screen in a way where um
Mhm.
they're very much inspired by that stuff, which is really cool. um but I you also have to think about how they plan on introducing
yeah, it's a very
like
tricky
because this
thing.
should have been technically in the beginning, right? Somewhere where Nick Fury's like, I'm planning on doing a team. That's when the X-Men
Yeah,
probably should have been introduced, but we're way past that. So now they have to think about different ways to do that. And the way they can do that is through all these different dimensions. So we're probably going to have all these different Spider-Mans combined. And with that, that's probably going to cause some rift, which can introduce the X-Men and also the Fantastic Four.
which movie was
Um,
that it was rumored that there's all these different Spider-Men in? Is that
the newest Tom Holland movie.
okay? So the newest
Yeah.
Spider-Man movie. So that would be if that is happening, right? Which the castings and all those rumors are probably true. There's too much smoke to not be real. I
I
mean, I
think he
think they've even
confirmed it
confirmed
at
it. Yeah.
some point. At least Doc Ock. Now the we don't know if the other Spider-Mans fully confirmed, but hey, Andrew Garfield. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Andrew Garfield was in my airport, and that's where they're filming Spider-Man. Why would he be here? Okay, he's
Right.
filming Spider-Man. Like, come on. Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield is filming Spider-Man, and then Tobey Maguire. I think is in the movie too. So
Yeah, he's
that's gonna
quiet.
be he's a little bit more quiet. He's a little bit harder to figure out.
Yeah, I
Because
think they want to bring that as a surprise moment, like like let
right
it be
back.
like a rumor, and then boom, you see him in the film.
yeah, and the thing about Toby, I heard rumors that he's like pretty hard to work with, and Marvel was kind of mad about it or something like that. Like I don't really know if that is true or not, but either way, that the fact that we might even get a Spider Verse, it's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
We can do it tonight.
yeah, it
Like
definitely, because that could
We
bring
can
up
do
so
this
much,
tonight,
so
or we
many
can have it
different.
tomorrow
We
on
got
Tuesday.
at least we know that those three Spider-Mans, they can do a Miles Morales Spider-Man. I mean, the possibilities are just endless. So
Yeah,
like, so what? I know that Sony owns Peter Parker Spider-Man.
mm-hmm.
But do they still now? Do they own Miles Morales because they did that into the Spider Verse? That I don't know.
Sony only owns anything Spider pretty much related. So all the villains he fights, all those stuff.
Sinister,
So that means Morbius, that
Sinister
means
Six.
Craven, Vulture, everything Spider-Man
And
related.
they just
Anything
own
else.
they are licensing the rights to use that from Marvel for it probably is contractually up for a certain period of time. I would
Mhm.
Yeah.
assume, right?
When Marvel went bankrupt, they sold off the rights to most of their characters. They
So do they
have
own
most of them
that,
back.
right? Like just flat out own it, or is it like a periodic timeline that
So
they own it
Sony has to keep making movies. They almost lost it for a bit because they after Andrew Garfield, they didn't. I think it was either after or before Andrew Garfield, they didn't make a movie for a while,
for?
and
Mm-hmm.
they almost lost
Yeah.
their rights again, which is why they
It was
like
after.
hurry up. Was it after? Okay.
I think it was
Um,
after, because I don't think there was a bigger gap in between Garfield and Holland's Spider Mans, because from Tobey Maguire to uh, Andrew Garfield's version, there wasn't as much of a gap. I
yeah.
believe that's from Andrews, and then because I think there was a long, because they now would um, Venom be part of that, or would that be something different?
Yeah, like okay, so when you guys remember the Daredevil movie, right? With Ben
Which one?
Affleck. Ben
Okay,
Affleck.
yeah.
Um and you also remember the old Fantastic Four movies, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Fox made those movies. Um and now you like people never I guess really question why Daredevil is on Netflix or how Marvel got those rights back or Punisher. Punisher was made by some weird what was it, like New Line Cinema or something. So Marvel
Yeah.
when they sold off all those rights in the contract what they put from almost all of them I think except Hulk was the different one um that if you don't make a movie every few years we get the rights back and that's what happened with Fantastic Four. That's why they have Fantastic Four back. That's why they
Yeah.
have Daredevil back because
Yeah.
Fox after the Ben Affleck one, they're like, oh, we're not touching this character. He can't even do anything. We can't do anything with this character. So guess what? Marvel got it and they made it way better. And X-Men, they Fox was very stubborn with X-Men. So what did Disney do? They just bought Fox. So now we
Right.
have X-Men. The only companies they don't have right now, or the only characters they don't have is Spider-Man and Hulk fully. I'm pretty sure. Hulk
Yeah.
is like universal. And
Yeah.
that's
They
why they
screwed up the Hulk.
yeah. I don't know what contracts is in there. It's really weird though. Um with like how they're able to do the Hulk. That's why they're doing his stories and other people's stories because he's
Right.
just weird.
A lot of people are like, why isn't there another Hulk movie? But there was that Hulk movie with Edward Norton. Was that done by?
That was Universal.
That was Universal, right?
Yeah.
But it's part of the
Yeah.
MCU.
Yeah, it was one of the first MCU movies, I think.
Yeah, the 2008. Was it 2008? I think that
It was
was.
if it wasn't, then it was definitely Iron Man. I'm pretty sure. No, that had to be the first one because I think they like Nick Fury made an appearance.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
Nick.
sure.
Well, no, I think General.
Well, he was always in that. Shoot,
Yeah.
I forgot what. Like, I'm pretty sure it was the first. I just don't remember why. I think Nick Fury made some appearance. I
As
might
at
be
the
wrong.
end, I think Iron Man made an appearance at the end of it in the bar.
Oh,
or
was it Iron
something.
Man? Okay.
Yeah, I think
I
Iron
couldn't
Man showed up at the end.
Yes. Yeah, Iron
and-
Man was at the end talking to.
And that was like, whoa, these are connected. What the fuck
Yeah.
is going on here, right?
That's never been done before that movie.
Yeah, and that was like a mind blowing moment, and that triggered people's into thinking, okay, what's going on? I gotta watch this other movie. I gotta see what's going on. And then the Captain America movies pushed it even further. Captain America: First Avenger, right? That was like, okay, a lot's going on here.
Yeah, I have no idea who owns the rights or fully what's going on with Hulk. I know Marvel owns She-Hulk fully. It's just so weird. I don't know what's going on with Hulk. I know Universal, some deal with Universal, and they have to talk to them if they want to do a movie. It's also why you go to Universal, like the park, you see a Hulk ride. You're like, why is this here? It's because Universal has like some weird stuff going on with Hulk. They have some rights, but I don't think they have She-Hulk or anything. I think Marvel are literally the last two pieces of the puzzle they're missing is Hulk and Spider-Man, which is unfortunate because those are very awesome characters. But it seems like Sony's doing okay, giving them the rights. But you have to think about they only gave them the rights to use Spider-Man in the MCU after they did a crappy job or an okay job, in my opinion.
Okay, well, I just the Diz Insider. I just looked on this. Reported back January 5th of 2020 that the film rights to the Hulk and Namor have reportedly reverted back to Marvel Studios.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I was not sure what was going on there. So Spider-Man's the final one then. He's the final Pokemon.
Because we knew that Namor was going to be
because they own Namor too, Universal. I'm pretty sure.
And now it's part of MCU.
That's gonna be cool.
And leaking.
They should look at what Aquaman did. That was actually a really good movie. How they do underwater stuff.
Yeah,
I liked that. That's one of my favorite DC hero movies. I like that one, and I like Shazam. And I liked
Shazam was awesome. I like Shazam.
I thought they did a good job with Superman. I thought they did a good job with the first Wonder Woman movie. I mean, there's a lot to like about DC, right? It's just putting it all together. They haven't done a great job.
They need a Phil Spencer over there.
So
I'll put that link in the FunPop. Guys can
for the rights or whatever.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So here we are. We're thinking that Universal still has it, and it's reported that now MCU has it. So
MCU has Namor. Or Namor. Am I saying that right?
I know they had Namor. I just didn't know they had Hulk. That's
you said they have Hulk as well. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah,
wow.
The Hulk and Namor now that Universal did have. So now we could possibly get a Wolverine and Hulk, maybe cross battle movie. Hell, how awesome would that be? Incredible Hulk's first MCU movie back to the onto the MCU.
This was a year ago too. It wasn't
and
during COVID.
And that's probably why people probably overlooked it, because all that during all that stuff, people were like, "Shit, COVID was more
It says
important."
that they don't know. They said it is not known how Marvel Studios retained the rights, whether it was a buyout, Universal letting the rights expire, or a possible IP trade. Interesting. If it was an IP trade, that means they gave them something.
we'll
Something
give you
else.
a.
Iron Man. You can
Better
have
not have
Iron
been
Man.
Gambit. Don't give him Gambit.
You can have what's this B? What's a B-rated character? You can have
Iron
You
Fist.
can have our new version of Storm that we got from Fox, and
yeah, only that version.
yeah.
But interesting. That's good news
Yeah.
for me. So it's just Spider-Man. Spider-Man's literally the last character
The
Marvel does not
Spider-Verse.
fully own. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So
And you damn well know that Disney is going to want them back. And
Sony's gonna fight for it. That's the only way. Not the only way Sony's making money. That's not true. But it's like a big reason why their movie division is making money is because of Spider-Man. Like that was half their revenue, I think, a little more than half, from all the other movies they released, if I'm not mistaken. Like Spider-Man: Homecoming, Spider-Man. What was the second one? Far From Home.
Far From Home, and this was No Way Home.
Made a ton of money.
It's the Home series. The next one's gonna be Spider-Man: Home Alone.
Yeah. well, the third one is
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
So they're kind of smart about doing that, because you can just call it like the Home series, and not get confused by a Spider-Man 3 when there's like 3 Spider-Man 3s or 2 Spider-Man 2. I don't know. 2 Spider-Man 2s. Or 3 Spider-Man 2s. Gosh, my brain.
So what the hell is gonna happen? Okay, let's go into speculation town. Okay, because my mind's swirling now with this shit. Right. All right. Here we are. We've arrived. Speculation town. Let's go. All right. We got Spider-Man: No Way Home. It's coming out this year, right?
Yeah.
When does Shang Chi come out?
September 3rd this year.
right.
Yeah, I think so. I actually don't know. I didn't see.
Yeah, there's.
I know we went over all this last or 2 weeks ago, and I just can't. I already can't remember any of it. But
yeah,
okay.
I threw away my list. So,
so, all right.
here we go.
We got all of these Spider-Man like possibilities that we've talked about. Okay, I think this movie is going to have huge implications on the MCU, possibly setting up things in the future. If you remember the art you saw of like the red thing over Earth, right?
Yes.
So the movie poster, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had the WandaVision that led us to think it's possibly a hex or something like that, right? The hex. And then also there's all these other Spider-Men appearing, right? You got Tobey Maguire, you got Andrew Garfield, you got the other Doc Ock. The only way to make those things possible, in my opinion, is to introduce the multiverse in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that's what I was saying. Like how you can possibly also introduce other things like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, because those are important characters in the comics, and like by opening up different universes, you can also open up.
Yeah, that's the gateway that we've been waiting for to the mutants, because in another world, anything is possible, right?
Yeah.
On another Earth,
for sure.
anything is possible. And there's this other poster where you see like Spider-Man going in and out of like dimension holes, almost, right? Have you guys seen this? I don't know if is this real, because I don't know how I missed that. I don't know. Is this can't? I'm gonna put it on the screen. You got if you can see this, right? I just
Yeah.
googled Spider-Man No Way Home and this poster. Have y'all seen this poster? Is this real? Is this legit?
I have not seen that
Oh,
poster. That looks really cool though.
Yeah. I don't know if that's
ooh.
real or what that's from. That's
I mean,
from
again, we know. I don't think that's real because I haven't seen them confirm any other Spider-Mans yet.
right.
Um,
Because you see this one here's got like a black suit on, right?
well, we seen onset photos, I think, of him wearing the black suit, so we know he's wearing the black suit again.
Okay.
So
Then you got Doc Ock's tentacles here. You know, you got this would be like you see electricity
Electro?
here, so that would be like what's it? Shock. What's
Electro.
can I see that
Electro.
Andrew? Can I see them all as Spider-Man?
That'd be Electro.
Can I see that really quick?
Yeah, this is like animation faces. I can tell.
Bro, you know that could be Andrew Garfield
That's super cool.
had Electro. So that could be the electricity. Doc Ock, that was Tobey Maguire, and the one that you can see Spider-Man, that is Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so
And they
that
could
you guys
all wear
know,
their
this
suits.
artwork I'm showing is to people's probably like fan art for like stuff.
That's
you know?
fan art.
No, all these are probably fan art, but it's so cool to like think about in my head how all three of these actors can sort of make jokes like you have Tobey Maguire, right, where he has the natural web slingers. I could already see Marvel playing with that joke because like, what, you guys need web cartridges? I'm just like shooting it out of my hand. Like they have so much potential for like messing with these three different Spider-Mans. It's insane.
Yeah.
Electro. I said
Marvel.
shock. It's Electro. The lightning bolts could
Yeah.
be something from Electro, but that's like we said, that's fan art, I think. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. That's definitely fan art. I don't think there's an official poster yet, but the logo has been posted. We have the logo. I just don't think we have a poster yet.
We have the only poster we have is the one that shows him looking back at Earth.
Looking back at Earth.
He's
The-
like
the
on
one
an
you just showed?
Avengers ship or something, or oh no, he's on a sword ship.
Sword.
Yeah, he's like on a sword ship, and standing on the sword logo, looking back at Earth, and it's got this red hex over it. Let me see if I can.
Okay. I remember that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that picture. That's gonna be awesome. That's supposed to come out like next year, right? Or, like this
no,
year?
this year in December, bro.
Sure.
How they do the Marvel. First off, they film really fast. Like I was on the set of WandaVision, and then I feel like a year later it came out.
Okay, so this is the
Like, that was
poster.
ridiculous.
Um,
That's so cool. And the red is that's what you're talking about with the hex with.
that's what
Yes.
Psychonauts saw, and you know I kind of agree with them. It kind of has that look to it, you know. I don't know 100%, but it's something.
That was because right now he's on the sword ship. That's with Nick Fury and the Skrull.
Yeah.
And the red hex, because of somebody was saying that from what this scene is, because in the comics, this is all speculation from the comics, is because Wanda covers the entire Earth with the red hex, and that's how the mutants lose their powers. But
that's cool.
That's why I'm thinking in this they're doing the opposite and turning all the when she puts the hex around the Earth, we're gonna get mutants, and that's how they're gonna introduce mutants, because Photon got her mutant powers going through the hex.
Was Photon a mutant, like in the comics, or because like in the MCU, people like born like in not in the MCU, but in X-Men lore, like people are born with it, and then when they reach a certain age, like usually like an event triggers the mutant abilities.
Yeah, because look at Deadpool. He had the gene, and then they did what they did to him to activate his mutant gene. So with the hex, what I'm thinking is that
Maybe only
That's
people
the
that
same
had the
concept
gene, right?
that
I
has the
mean,
gene.
he was in the same X program as Wolverine, Deadpool.
Yeah, but in the movies, it kind of wasn't that way
I
though.
think they changed it or something.
That
Because
was
I think
Fox. That was Fox.
yeah, Fox always be changing stuff. I think Deadpool, like Wolverine's supposed to be like Project X11 or something, X12,
Yeah, something.
something like that, and then Deadpool's like the next number or something, and then the
Wolverine
clone
is Weapon X.
Weapon X. But I remember
Yeah,
they had like numbers. I can't remember.
he's Weapon 10, so Weapon X.
Weapon 10. Okay. His clone, uh, who is supposed to be the girl with the Wolverine claws, like
Yeah.
with just the two claws, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to be his clone. Just flip the XY chromosome to a Y.
Yeah. He
Because
was what,
otherwise it didn't work.
23?
X23. Yeah.
X23.
Yeah. Awesome books, by the way. If you guys are interested in Wolverine, there's like two books you probably should read. The book where the origin of Wolverine, Paul Jenkins. Second one is X23. Those are like two really good books. If you're interested in his universe. And then there is another book written by Frank Miller, who later did The Dark Knight. And that's the book where he deals with the hand, where Wolverine is like training with like ninjas and stuff. That's actually a really good book. And I think the hand also dealt with Daredevil later on. So it's like all connected. It's actually really cool.
That is cool.
Dude. Hey, Mav, did you notice that the fourth portal in that poster, because I just saw it, that looks like Miles Morales. All black.
Yeah.
I think the first logo they had was in, what was it, Puerto Rico, I think, where Miles is actually from. Like the first thing they did where they was teasing it online and in those videos with Tom Holland and Zendaya, like on the board, it was in the shape of like Puerto Rico and like the webs.
If that's real, if we get a
that one is, I think, definitely not real. After looking at it like closer, it's definitely not real. It's just fan art.
What's not?
That poster I put up that had the dimensions.
The full poster.
Oh yeah, that one's fake. But it's cool. It's cool to see.
Like if that was to be real, holy crap.
Yeah. I think that, the red stuff, I mean, obviously it has huge implications because it's covering like Earth, right? So something big is happening in Spider-Man No Way Home. Something big that's going to cause something where there's going to be multiple Spider-Men. There's going to be something covering the Earth. And if you look at the picture, there's like something broken in whatever the Earth, whatever that is, there's like a shatter in it in the middle, right? So what villain is capable of creating dimensions and also covering the Earth with something like this? Besides Wanda with the Hex, because let's just put Wanda in the Hex out of our mind. Is there a villain that you guys can think of from the MCU, or not from the MCU, sorry, from Marvel Comics, that has anything to do with Spider-Man? Because traditionally they've tried to keep the villains within the realm of like the comics with the characters. Because remember, this also has something to do with Sony and I guess Columbia Pictures as well. What villain could be capable of causing this much havoc?
There's only a few I could think of. Like,
was it not Chaos?
First, I keep thinking of like Doctor Strange villains because a lot of his villains deal with like dimensions and stuff. But like, not a villain, but I have a theory. Franklin Richards' son can literally do anything.
That's Mr. Fantastic's son, right?
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic's son is one of the most powerful characters in Marvel. if you look at the rating, he's like an Omega god or something, and people worship him like later. Um, he's capable for sure because he can pretty much do anything. But for a villain, I don't know. Maybe that one guy who's in Doctor Strange. He kept like he was trapped in time.
Mordormu.
Mordomu, more something.
um,
He's maybe capable.
okay, so
what about Cathon?
Cathon? Who's Cathon?
Cathon is
Oh, you said Pathon or Cathon?
Cathon. He is a villain that's in with WandaVision. That's who the hex magic. He's the one that is like he's an elder god. So he dabbles with the dimensions, and that's what a lot of people think.
So what was? Do you guys remember Spider-Man 2? I feel like they're gonna do. I just thought of something. Do you guys remember what Doctor Strange was? Not Doctor Strange. What Doc Ock was trying to do with that machine that killed him at the end? What was he trying to do?
Open a portal.
Open a portal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably gonna tie that in. He's in this movie, and they're probably gonna do is like,
no shit.
When he was like falling or whatever, maybe they'll just continue it from there, and like maybe he wakes back up and maybe he continues his work, or someone sees what he was trying to do, admires his work, and like, let's finish your project or something. Because I'm pretty sure he was trying to open a portal, or it had something to do with energy or something like that. That's what I would do if I was writing this movie. And
he was trying to create like an unlimited power source or something.
Yeah, and it created that huge like orange energy ball thing that he brought down with him in the water. Yeah.
I gotta watch it back again. I just actually recently watched that, but I already can't remember how it ended.
I haven't seen it in years. You have no excuse, man. But I think it was like he was trying to create infinite energy, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But they could literally just use that, and that's what I would do. I think I feel like that's what's gonna happen now. Just thinking about it. If they're gonna put Doc Ock in this movie, which he pretty much confirmed on different places, like, yeah, I'm in this movie. He didn't even try to keep his mouth shut about it, I don't think.
JNL Destiny in the chat says Dormammu. That's
Dormammu.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we said before, but thank you.
Marmaduke.
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 That was close.
Dormammu. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Dormammu. He could come back. I don't know. There's not a lot of like Marvel villains that has that huge capability. Like Galactus, I'm wondering when Galactus is going to come, but they're going to save Galactus. He's like the Thanos, another Thanos.
So when does the Eternals movie come out? That's this year too, right? That's before Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's in December, right? So Eternals is in November. So the other prediction is whatever happens, because it's only a month before Spider-Man comes out, whatever happens in the Eternals could have huge implications on Spider-Man No Way Home.
That's supposed to come out at the end of this year.
Yeah.
What?
So the Eternals, you're going into a whole nother realm as well, and you have the chance to introduce things that are completely capable of doing something like that, I would think, because you're going on like you're opening the playfield again, right? With the Eternals, it's not just New York, right? You're talking about space.
Immortals, they do live in Earth and stuff.
The Eternals,
but they live for a long time, like they're immortal,
right?
And stuff like that. Like
Well, I'm
I think they're
imagining this is
aliens that
going to
go
take
to Earth.
place in space, right?
Yeah.
So supposedly 3 weeks ago, massive Marvel spoiler might have just leaked the entire plot for Eternals. Is what I see. I'm not going to click on that. Yeah,
I thought they were like aliens that crashed to Earth. Now they're living there, and they've been there for like hundreds
maybe.
of years. I'm pretty sure that's what Eternals is.
Okay.
I haven't read
Well,
the comics
you're
in a
more
long time.
familiar than I am. I just see all the I see like the logo and it looks like space. You know what I mean?
Brother Mike just said like I feel inadequate because I don't know enough about Galactus to know how strong he would be. He is stronger than Thanos like 10 times. Here's the thing.
He's
Galactus,
a devourer of worlds.
So Thanos needed a little glove, right? He needed a glove to get what he wanted. To snap his fingers and whatever. Galactus just eats worlds. He literally like he eats worlds. He uses the Silver Surfer. They just made him a cloud in the Fox version. But he uses the Silver Surfer to go out and look for worlds so that are even that are worthy, that has enough energy. And then Galactus is just eats it. That's he's super strong. Like sometimes they have to like downplay his power a little bit because he's just kind of OP. Like you thought Thanos was powerful, Galactus he's in a whole other level. That's why they need to build up to Galactus. Like Avengers, they're gonna need some help with that one. That Avengers not enough.
That's why we're gonna get Avengers, X-Men, possibly.
You need everybody. We
all
need
the
to
dimensions, the multiple dimensions of all the X-Men and Avengers, maybe Defenders and Eternals and Inhumans. Who knows? Like this could be like a 20+ year saga.
Mm-hmm.
We already did it with freaking, with
we already got almost a 10-year saga, right?
Yeah, you can't just go against Galactus. Like in the Fox movie, they made it really corny. They made Galactus a cloud. He's not a cloud. He's just a gigantic god.
Yes.
Okay.
Huge.
And this he's just massive. Look at most of it when you type in Galactus in Google, most of what you'll see is his hand over just different planets. Because that's pretty much what he does. He eats planets. He sends Silver Surfer to look for planets, and Silver Surfer is pretty much also like a god. He has just as much, not he has a lot of powers. He's very powerful. Galactus pretty much is he's underneath his helm. Like he has to do what he says. Silver Surfer is actually a really sad story. I don't know. Did they tell his story in the Fox movies?
I think they did.
Yes. They barely touched.
It's super sad. Like he was forced to leave his planet. Like Galactus was about to eat it. So he made a deal with him like, hey, I won't return to the planet. I'll help you eat other planets. And then he's like, okay. So usually he's chilling with Silver Surfer. Like, look at that. It's ridiculous. He just eats planets, and that's what he does.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah. He's just this crazy god. So when Marvel eventually uses him, you can't just have Avengers. You need Avengers, you need X-Men, you need Fantastic Four, you need everybody. We need to jump in. Psycho needs to be there, Mav needs to be there. You need Xbox Ultimate Crew, you need RDX. We all need to jump in and help because
NLG, all those
NLG, Rick Payne, come on, because that's the only way you're beating this guy.
Randall Tomato.
Yep, Randall. Just get everybody. He's crazy.
All right, guys.
This
hey.
looks insane. Holy crap.
So we had alluded to some of these deals with things happening, with Sony and stuff. But so there is a Sony and Disney deal that just recently happened. I'm going to read the information. If I can find it, here we go. Disney and Sony set massive movie deal bringing Spider-Man films to Disney Plus. So Disney has set a massive movie this is from Variety.com. Disney has set a massive movie licensing pact with Sony Pictures for the US that promises to bring Spider-Man and other Marvel properties to Disney Plus, starting with Sony's 2022 release slate. The wide-ranging deal, which runs through Sony's 2026 theatrical slate, that means the theatrical movies from 2022 to 2026, basically, also calls for Sony titles to run across Disney's array of streaming and linear platforms. That would be Disney Plus. Making it unprecedented in scope as it covers Disney Plus, Hulu, FX networks, ABC, Disney channels, and Freeform. It also includes a significant number of library titles that will spread among various outlets. Hulu will gain access to what Disney described as a significant number of library titles starting in June. So that means Hulu is about to get a bunch of cool movies. The agreement comes on the sheets of Sony's output deal with Netflix for titles in the lucrative post-theatrical release Pay One window. The Disney deal covers subsequent TV windows, meaning that the titles will land on Netflix first, about 9 months after the start of a film's theatrical run. Disney is scooping up for multiple platforms the windows previously reserved for ad-supported cable and broadcast airings of movies. Netflix and Disney deals also run for the same license term. So it looks like Netflix is going to get those movies like right when they would be like DVD release almost, like when they initially hit streaming services, and then when they would normally hit TV, like services like just like FX or whatever, that's when Disney's going to get all these. So, and it's going to be a big library, but what also means is we're going to get back catalog as well of some of these. So it's pretty huge deal. And this is like, it's only covering the US market. Sorry, Rick. And let's see, it's likely to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars to Sony over the term of the deal.
It says it's going to run
Never
from
sell your franchises.
2022 to 2026.
These deals are happening. Like, didn't we just talk about one of these like recently with somebody else in Disney, or was it? It was on one of our episodes of FunPop. Yeah, it was. Somebody else had a huge. I think it was Warner Brothers or something had another huge deal or something, and it's like these things are happening, like a lot right now. And you see like cable TV is like losing all of their deals for like getting movies and stuff, and it's all going to these streaming services now, and networks. So it's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Avish?
Avish, yeah, I was looking at what Avish was saying. Why not Dark Phoenix? They have to introduce X-Men first and all that. But as for like this deal with Spider-Man,
Spider-Man Disney Plus, bro. I wonder if does that mean we're gonna get the Andrew Garfield ones and the Tobey Maguire ones? It's what it sounds like.
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
What it sounds like.
One home for all of the Marvel characters. Like, it'd just be awesome, right?
That probably means Venom too.
Venom.
Yes.
Carnage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like
Sinister Six.
And according to 3-Bit, Sony has to keep making these movies in order to keep the license, right? So Into the Spider-Verse as well, right?
As long as they keep making Spider-Man movies forever, Sony will probably have it forever.
So it means your Disney Plus subscription, your Hulu subscription, if you subscribe to Hulu or whatever, just got even more valuable again. So
and it just goes to show you how dumb Marvel was for selling Spider-Man off, because now they have to pay them for their own character.
Yeah,
that's true. But it was at a time where they would either sell off their IPs or they're licensing their IPs out, or do they go bankrupt and then we wouldn't even have these movies. So I mean,
Well, what saved them was like create like really like we had Paul on Four Guys with Quarters, Paul Jenkins, and who was the other guy? Mav,
Jimmy Palmiotti.
Jimmy Palmiotti. And they talked about this exact thing. Like when Marvel was going bankrupt, what actually ended up saving them was they let the artists and writers do what they want. And when that happened, so many great stories came out of that. Um, like the like letting like artists like or writers like Paul Jenkins or even Frank Miller, um, who had his run on Daredevil and pretty much like created a lot of characters. Like he created like Elektra and stuff like that over there. And there was a lot of amazing stories that came out of the bankruptcy. And that saved a lot of what Marvel is today, um, which is insane. But yeah, they sold off a lot of their movie franchises at a time where they're like, these movies are never going to be that big anyways. So because it's never been proven. It wasn't until Fox did X-Men in 2000, or was that 2000? It was like 1999 or 2000. It wasn't until then when people started appreciating what superhero movies could be. Until that, Marvel was like, yeah, we'll sell off Spider-Man, we'll sell off Hulk, we'll sell off.
Hey, you guys wave to NLG right now.
Hey, NLG.
Hi, NLG
yeah, I was looking
chat.
at it. I was like, hey,
you guys
what
rock.
am I looking? Hey. we're just talking Marvel stuff over here. Like your background, Psycho.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's Thunderbolt Ross turning into the Red Hulk.
Nice. I'm very confused about the screen because I'm like looking at myself into a mirror.
It's hey, this is what happening in Spider-Man No Way Home, right? It's just like there's gonna be some kind of weird dimension going on. We've created a portal into the original next level gaming universe, and we don't know how to escape.
Seeing like 5 different versions of myself. Yeah, but yeah, that's all I would say. I think the Spider-Man deal with Sony is good. I just think it just sucks for Marvel. I mean, they have all the money in the world. I'm not that concerned, but it just sucks on their end because they're always gonna have to fight for this character, the last character. They don't have the rights to. It seems like they have Hulk now. They have Namor. They have Daredevil because Fox didn't make movies. Spider-Man is the last one, and Sony's going to be very stubborn with it because they make a lot of money with Spider-Man. So,
yeah,
I'm glad they got it on Disney Plus, though. That's cool.
Yeah, bro. It's in June. It says our library is about to increase with like a back catalog, so that's awesome.
GUG Multiverse.
And then June we'll get the Loki series, TV onto Disney Plus. We'll have, and then in July we'll have Black Widow. And in I think September we'll get Shang Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings.
Then there's the Eternals, and then there's Spider-Man.
So Black Widow is when?
July.
Okay.
Yeah, we get Loki between now and then. First Falcon Winter Soldier is going to wrap up. Then we get Loki. Then we get we get What If after that, I think, right?
Yeah, and What If?
JNL Destiny 2 news. Did they get Hulk back from Universal? Yeah, we just talked about that. I thought they did not, but they got him last year. Marvel apparently has him back. So the only character Marvel does not have the rights to is Spider-Man that I know of. Every other character they got it back over the years.
Yeah. They got them all.
Yep, they got them all back.
Yep. That's gonna be amazing. Yeah, there's a She-Hulk thing coming as well, Avish. Marvel's just like on fire with content, and personally, like just was between Star Wars and Marvel, Disney Plus is probably worth it just for that alone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're being honest, right? Like they got all these other series they're doing too. Like I haven't even had a chance to watch it yet, but they have this new Mighty Ducks show that supposedly people are saying is pretty good. I really liked those movies when I was a kid. They got all this other stuff they're doing. There's something for everybody on that service right now. And hey, if you're a Marvel or Star Wars fan, then this stuff just keeps getting better and better and better. And here's the thing, like with Disney, because a lot of people are kind of against them for also acquiring franchises and IPs and doing what they want with them. But like, if they keep doing it right, then I don't have really an issue with it. And in fact, I'm like, what else can they get to put in Disney Plus? Like, just go get everything. Like, I want everything in there. It's how we're all talking about like Xbox right now. Who's like everybody's rumored to be bought by Xbox
Capcom
right now.
I just want Xbox to be super petty, just because, over the years they just been like kind of like, what was it, 2000? When did Xbox One came out? Like
2013.
2013.
Dated.
I just want them to be petty
Etched
just
in my
because
memory.
that was a terrible generation for the most part, and
It started off
it
like a headache, and it got
started
better.
okay.
When
it got
Phil
better
Spencer took over, it got a lot better.
Yeah. Now they're at a pretty good spot. So now I just want them to get in that petty state. But that's just me. I just want to see the world better.
Well, they did, because MLB the show's on Game Pass.
Yeah, that's a Molotov, right?
That's how Xbox does it. They just put Sony games onto Game Pass.
Yeah, which is insane. So they Psycho, they threw the Molotov and the building's on fire. Now we're just waiting for the rocket launcher. But yeah, I think that with Sony and Disney Plus, good for them. I want to see Venom on there. I want to see all the Tobey Maguire movies, Andrew Garfield movies. And I feel like they definitely made this deal because of Spider-Man 3. Like if all these different Spider-Mans are in that, people are going to want to see who are these Spider-Mans. They're going to go back, and guess what? It's on Disney Plus. So that makes sense to me. Why they would do it, like put Tobey Maguire in there, put Andrew Garfield in there, and especially to the people who's never seen those Spider-Mans, it's a good deal.
You remember when there was this like negotiation and like we didn't know if Tom Holland was gonna be back, right? Like there was this whole thing, and then we found out, hey, the big news broke, and Tom Holland's gonna get to be Spider-Man again, and he posted on Twitter and everything. He was like super happy and
he
stuff.
Fought for it. It was him,
right.
For the
and
most part.
Fans too, right? Like there was a big outcry, right? And so do you think like part of the negotiation was potentially for Sony to have more control over their characters being introduced into the MCU, like to have more people watch their movies, right? Because just think about it, right? Like, because this is the first like one that we're getting that kind of thing with, right? And you got all this like all these Sony characters are going to make an appearance in this movie. It's almost like Sony had to say, hey, look, we're here too, or something. That's just a theory, right? But who knows? It could have been part of it potentially.
Yeah. I want to see what Psycho has to say before I jump in. Do you think Sony is the reason? Like, do you think like what Mav was saying, like they're doing this?
That's pure crazy Sony talk, probably, but it's just interesting to think about.
It makes sense.
I think with the deal that just came out between Disney and Sony, I think it is.
Yeah.
Because it looks like, Sony might not give up Spider-Man, but they're like, we'll let you use Spider-Man in your movies, but
Mhm.
he belongs to Sony. Because they're gonna keep
Mhm.
they're gonna keep bringing out movies. So that's because they got with the Spider-Man. There's the rumored Sinister Six series that they want to build up to. So I think with this, I think we're gonna see that. We got what more is it Morbius? The
Yeah,
movie
that's
that's
still coming
been
out, or I think
that's
they
still
finished
they
filming it.
finished it, and it's like it's been in limbo for like almost a year because of COVID. So then we got that, and then you got Electro, Vulture, and I think there's three more. I'm not too sure. And is it
Mhm.
Mysterio? And
Was
so
Craven in there? Shocker.
So Craven was rumored. Well, I saw something on Google where
I forgot who the Sinister. Like I forgot all the ones that are in Sinister Six. Like
and those four, I know the four. Vulture, Electro, Mysterio, and Morbius. Those are the four. Oh,
Mhm.
and then um main villain. Who is the main villain? Is that Morbius, the main villain?
What in Sinister Six? I don't think he's in
Yeah,
Sinister Six. Yeah, I'll look it up right now.
but
Um,
anyways, I think Sony's trying to keep Spider-Man going and allowing so the momentum with Spider-Man being in the MCU is going to, in Sony's eye, hopefully transfer over to Sony Pictures, and then help with their bottom end
right. So
sales. And
just look at the outcome potentially, right? Okay, so hey, we're not. You're done with Spider-Man MCU. He's ours. Okay, as Tom Holland can no longer be Spider-Man. All of that stuff, right? That was gonna happen. Negotiations are taking place now. Disney wants to retain the ability to use Spider-Man. Sony's saying no. New negotiations. Fan
let's not
outcry.
do Sony do the creative thing. Mm. Like they
So,
did a pretty good job, but like no.
but here we go now. Like the first Spider-Man movie we have since then, all of a sudden, you got all these Sony characters thrown in there. Now, what would be in it for Sony, right? Okay, you are having all this. You're connecting the universe, their universe, to MCU by doing this. All of a sudden,
Mhm.
you're gonna have way more intrigue for all of the past Spider-Man and Marvel stuff that was from Sony, right? And as people are going to be more interested in that, then you also then have a deal in turn to put those back on Disney Plus and Netflix. So maybe increasing the value in which you're selling back to Disney. Um, it's just like I don't know how the business side of that stuff works, but it seems kind of like it was either Disney throwing Sony a bone. Here, look, okay, we'll do this. Okay, we'll put all your versions in the movie. Okay, we'll put your versions in the
If
movie.
Disney wanted, they could buy Sony and
They could,
they could,
right?
but they run the risk of a monopoly with that. Or
Right. They
I don't
have to be
know,
careful.
maybe
I don't. It's
they
just
get
it's just an interesting thought. I'm just throwing it out there.
yeah. Also, the Sinister Six: Electro, Mysterio, Doc Ock, Vulture, Sandman, and Craven.
Right on.
To answer
So we've
Psycho's
seen all
question.
of those. Have we seen all of those in the? So we see say them again. Mysterio.
So yeah, you got Mysterio, Electro,
We've seen them too. We've seen Sandman.
Doc Ock,
We've seen Doc Ock.
Vulture,
We've seen Vulture.
Mhm.
Sandman, and Craven.
Yeah. So the only one we haven't seen in a Spider-Man movie is Craven.
Craven.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah, they're all
when
in.
earlier on Google, I was looking, and it said the director of Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man Homecoming, I forget his name, had wanted Hunter the Craven to be the that's his name, right? Hunter the
I
Craven.
see the fight in the chat with
Yeah,
all these different
Craven the
Spider-Man.
Hunter.
Craven the Hunter, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
Craven's
back.
awesome.
I'm dyslexic. Um to be the villain in his next Spider-Man movie.
Mm.
Well, now,
So
like, I would say yes, but like the first two movies were very small scale movies, but now we're seeing him in a sword ship, and we're talking about different universes. So I'm thinking,
What if
they
it's more than
probably
just Doc Ock, and you have all of these other villains come out, and you have the Sinister Six appear in this movie, led by Kraven the Hunter?
that'd be pretty sick.
Um,
Also, I totally disagree with the chat. Like, come on, guys. First off, Tom Holland is not the worst Spider-Man. Second off, Andrew Garfield is not the best Spider-Man. I'll explain why. All right. So first off, I thought Tobey Maguire was a great Spider-Man for a lot of different reasons. He just like
Until
aesthetically, he
Spider-Man
just didn't
3,
look.
yeah.
He didn't
Spider-Man
look
3
It's,
was bad.
Dark
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man and
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3, like emo Spider-Man,
Or
like
he's-
that was
he's just like,
that was not a good
Yeah.
thing. But everything
not.
else about him I did like. I liked his personality as Spider-Man for sure.
yeah. Like I thought he was like a overall pretty good Spider-Man. I thought Andrew Garfield, to me, didn't fit like the comics at all, or how I perceived Spider-Man. He was like supposed to be like this cool guy who skateboards and like, hey, look, I'm cool. And then all of a sudden he switches his personality like completely, which I could kind of see as actually Spider-Man. Like he makes like the jokes and stuff, but his transition from hey, like you suck, and then as Peter Parker, he's a completely different person. I I did not dig. But freaking Tom Holland is like a balance of everything that to me
Yeah.
that Andrew Garfield is, like the sarcastic thing that he did with Spider-Man, which I liked. And also like with Tobey Maguire and his overall sort of like Peter Parker and him dealing with life and all that. He's sort of like a mixture of both of those. Like I
Yeah.
feel like Andrew like he's a good actor and stuff, but I feel like there's certain aspects of Spider-Man he did not get. And I thought the same sort of thing with Toby, but Toby definitely had stronger movies. I thought Toby is dope. He's awesome. But
Yeah.
I think Tom Holland's just overall like the character.
He
of
embodies the
who he is.
character the best to me
Very much
personally.
embodies
A
who
younger
Spider-Man
Peter
is.
Parker. You know,
He's
I
funnier
definitely
too.
agree.
Like the part of Spider-Man is like the little commentary, the comments, just making the little silly, like, sarcastic comments as he's like going about his business, his little jokes as he takes somebody down, right?
Yeah.
It just I think Tom Holland just kind of embodies that the best. Tobey Maguire did pretty good with that too.
Yeah. Don't
So
let nostalgia blind you guys, okay? I love Toby.
And
I think Toby's great.
I like Aunt May with Tom Holland's Aunt May better.
Oh, really? That one I'm not sure because I love the old Aunt May. Like when I think about Aunt, whatever, May.
Yeah, well, because it's
Uh,
a younger Peter Parker, not an older Peter Parker. So
True. I mean, they
it's
definitely
still in high
took their
school.
liberties. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I just like
yeah, there are things I like about all three Spider-Mans for sure. But
they
I'm just
honestly they were
saying,
all good. I think they were all good castings.
yeah, I just think Tom Holland overall he embodies who Spider-Man is. I
Yeah.
think they all did a great job though.
I
So let me
just
go
want to see.
seeing them.
I just want to see Hobgoblin. Can I get a Hobgoblin, please, in one of these Spider-Man movies? That's
Please.
all I want.
No.
Is a Hobgoblin. I think they could have brought it with Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire's, but for some reason they went back to Green Goblin. It's like, why? Why
I
you
mean,
do that?
he was supposed to be Hobgoblin.
Yeah, but I wasn't. He was the Green Goblin.
Did they call him like I don't know what the when you got the toys, I don't know what it said.
No, it was Green
but-
Goblin. It was like
he was just Green Goblin again.
it was Green Goblin. It was Green Goblin. I'm like, bro, come on. Can we get that would have been a perfect Hobgoblin. Like,
I need to go back and watch 3 again. That's the worst one. It's kind of hard to watch,
It
in
has
my
I
funny
want-
moments, okay.
but I want
it
the
has-
evil elves. But
it
I want
has
them to
charming-
be evil looking elves too, though. I don't want them to be some dude in a-
Sandman was cool, okay. that Sandman scene when he's like
Yeah.
coming out of that was cool. It has some moments. It was a terrible movie, but it has like some cool things in
Who
there.
played
Like
Venom in that
Sandman.
movie? I forget.
We don't talk. Let's not talk about that. He was terrible.
Hey,
Oh, the kid from
What-
the 70s show.
what do you
It was
think?
the guy.
I know
He was
that they
not
kind of
Venom.
go off like comic lore and stuff with Venom, but what do you think of Tom
Mhm.
Hardy as Venom, just as a character? Because I love
I mean,
Tom Hardy.
I love Tom Hardy. I'm just like
It's
thinking
hard. It's
about who
hard to
Venom
put
is
him as a character
character.
because he has like no interaction with Spider-Man yet, and that's like what his whole
'Cause
character is based on.
I think that's why it's hard for
Yeah.
me to say anything.
Because Brock was always like I don't know. To me, he was like, he
He's sort of
wasn't.
dumb.
Yeah, because this one, I mean, he was just like, he like was just like, like don't do that. Okay, I won't do that. I'm sorry. And like that doesn't like Tom Hardy. It doesn't seem like a Tom Hardy character. You know what I'm saying? Like I like Tom Hardy. It's just that character how it was being portrayed didn't fit right with
Yeah.
as Tom Hardy. So, but that's just
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to see like him without Spider-Man, but I know Sony's just gonna do that to keep the rights up. Um, and I see Back from Dead. I grew up watching early 90s Saturday morning cartoons, including Spider-Man. Here's the thing about the early 90s Spider-Man Back from the Dead. He wasn't a young Spider-Man. There, if you're talking about the early 90s Spider-Man, the Saturday morning cartoon, that was not a young Spider-Man. He was like an adult, and he was very different. Spider-Man has evolved over time, and like what people picture him to be like Spider-Man now is like a young kid. And like they had the adult Spider-Man cartoons for a while, and that was Stan Lee's decision. I think like more recently is he's just like a kid. And there's different versions of almost every character, right? Man, there's just
Yeah. Like how many versions of Batman do we have? You know, like
there's just like a ton. But
it's
then
interesting.
you eventually just go to like, who do you see Batman as, and it's his overall essence as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Like despite you have thousands of different versions of Hulk, thousands of different versions of Batman, but like, who is Batman as a character, like overall? And then that's what people try to go for.
Yeah, I agree. Like for me personally, Tom Holland is like, he's like, he fits the personality that I think of when I think of Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, but no one's opinion is wrong. Also.
Yeah, no one's opinion.
Or
is wrong.
I just like to talk trash, and when it comes to like comic stuff, because I'm so passionate about it. But no one's wrong. Like if you love, if you think Tom Holland is a trash Spider-Man, power to you.
All right, so the last bit of news we had was the let me see where I have it. HBO Max basically has been killing it, and probably because of this Warner Brothers stuff. And we talked about Mortal Kombat earlier when we started the show, how we're going to be watching that tonight. And 3-Bit's already seen it, and he gave us his rundown of what he feels about that movie. So if you want to go back and watch the beginning of the show, you can kind of see some of the Mortal Kombat talk. But okay, so we got Mortal Kombat tonight. We've already had Zack Snyder's Justice League. We've had Godzilla vs. Kong. We've had Wonder Woman 84, Tom and Jerry, all of these things. So I'm going to go over this article real quick. This is from IGN. Okay, that HBO Max and HBO added another 2.7 million subscribers in the last quarter. And that's after, from primarily what they're assuming is all of these movies, right? Let's see, you got, so the bottom line to take away from this is like, hey, they're doing well. They're doing really well. They're doing extremely well. And this model probably is going to, I would think, potentially carry on. It depends on how much is it worth it for the movie companies, and also how much is it worth it for HBO. Now, when you see this amount of success off of something, then there's always going to be possibilities. So it's interesting the theater industry is trying to make a comeback right now. But then you have this side of the business doing so well because the theater industry is changing and hasn't been doing well. So where does this go, right? Like, are we going to see these deals continue going forward because of success? Or is the price going to go up because all of a sudden now as theaters come back, there's alternatives to these movies, the normal home for them to be launched in? I think most people want them launched at theaters because you get the theater experience, right? That's what the filmmakers want. But money talks, right? Subscription services are doing so well. What's gonna where like? I'm not complaining about being able to watch these movies day one on streaming services personally, right? So do we think this is going to be a thing that's going to continue because of the success, or do you think it's going to shut down with the theaters coming back?
Well, they already HBO Max already did was it not HBO Max? Warner Brothers already strike up a deal with, I think, Regal Cinemas.
Yeah.
So after this year, it won't be day and date with streaming movies. It's going to be
Right.
after the movies will come out after the DVD release. So I think they said a couple weeks after the DVD releases.
So are the movies only at Regal theaters?
No, they will be. Well, maybe, I don't know. I
Yeah, we have
don't
to look into that.
I just remember that they struck up a deal with movie theaters. I think it was Regal,
Right.
that started it. So I think it could possibly go to Cinemark and the other franchises. But after this year, that's it. HBO Max won't have day and date. So they said it was, I think they said 3 weeks after DVD releases. So how long is that? 6 months? So what, another 7,
9
8
months almost. Yeah.
Before we get that movie onto streaming. I mean, that's a long time.
So you think you think HBO is gonna see a fall off after this influx of movies is gonna go away?
Oh yeah. Because to get day and date, that was the biggest. Like when I saw that for Christmas for Wonder Woman 84, even though the movie was, we did a podcast on that, and we have our whatever thoughts on that. But that was, when it was announced, that was huge. Like, holy crap, we can see day and date movies streamed from home or go to the theater. So it gives people options. If you don't feel comfortable going out into the theaters yet, you can go stay home and watch it from the comfort of your home. It's better than what Disney's doing, where you have to spend $30 on top of the subscription service to watch movies. So the HBO Max and Warner Brothers, that deal was phenomenal. And I did not, I was disappointed when I saw and heard that after this year it's over. So they're gonna try to pump out as much as they can, or at least HBO Max is gonna try, unless they come up with another deal with another movie company and do day and date movies. It won't be as big as DC and what Warner Brothers putting out, but it's they're gonna have to do something.
So it's set. Yeah, I brought it up. It says, okay, Regal locations will reopen in the U.S. for the first time in 6 months in limited capacity starting April 2nd to accommodate Warner Brothers' Godzilla vs. Kong. Blah blah blah, which is a 2021 release. So this deal you're talking about is for 2022. It's only for 2022. It says the 45-day 45-day exclusive window that they're getting as part of the deal.
Okay.
It's a 45-day exclusive theatrical window for Warner Brothers films at Regal Cinemas. Begins in 2022. So,
Does that mean
that doesn't necessarily
Regal-
mean that it's only in theaters, though. But that means basically that I think it means it's only at their theaters for 45 days,
and then open the rest of the other theaters, and then
so it's exclusive, like those movies.
I'm trying to read this.
I'm just listening to you guys. Like, so those movies are exclusive to that specific
theater for 45 days.
Of theater for 45 days, and then after that, it can go to different theaters and on HBO Max.
Right. So it says
that we don't know. I think that's what he's trying to find.
Right.
out.
I'm trying to read this. I'm just gonna read this. Okay. The 45-day exclusive theatrical window for Warner Brothers films at Regal Cinemas begins in 2022. Okay. Under the current strategy, Warner Brothers opens the movies in theaters on the same day they begin streaming exclusivity on HBO Max for 31 days. But the new one, it says, is for 45 days exclusive theatrical window at Regal Cinemas. So it says, we're very happy for the agreement with Warner Brothers, said Cineworld CEO Mookie Greidinger in a statement. This agreement shows the studio's commitment to theatrical business, and we see this agreement as an important milestone in our 100-year relationship with Warner Brothers. As for the UK, Cineworld's second largest market, Warner Brothers and Cineworld have agreed to an exclusive theatrical window of 31 days. So in the UK, it's 31 days prior to PVOD, paid video on demand, right? And an extended window of 45 days for films that open to an agreed upon box office threshold. Cineworld expects to resume operations in the UK. So by shifting to an exclusive 45-day theatrical window in 2022, Warner Brothers joins other studios such as Universal and Paramount in shifting away from the previous 90-day theatrical window that was in place before the pandemic. So instead of before the pandemic, there was a 90-day window. Now there's a 45-day window. And that's from Universal and Paramount as well, supposedly. Paramount announced earlier this year a 45-day theatrical window for its event films. Mission Possible 7, A Quiet Place Part 2, for example. It says, why a shorter 30-day window will be adopted for smaller films. After these windows end, all Paramount films will move to streaming via Viacom new platform Paramount Plus. So for the Paramount movies, they're only going to be in theaters for like 30 days or 45 days, and then after immediately into the streaming services.
Movie theaters are done.
Yeah. So
wow, that's crazy.
And I think that's what's going to happen with this 45-day exclusive window as well for this deal. I think after the 45 days is up, they can do with it as they make other deals for them to appear wherever. So 45 days is not that long. We're used to having to wait a lot longer.
Better. That's a lot better than waiting from what they must have updated the agreement or something, because before, when it was first announced, I thought it said Regal gets it, and then after the fact, when the DVD sales or DVDs were released, then it goes to streaming to help with DVD sales. And
that's the normal thing that had always been the case, but I think that I don't know.
They might have seen the numbers getting almost 3 million subscribers because of this, and they're probably like, okay. I mean, they can go back, and it's their contract, so they can be like, we need to change it. This is what it's going to be now. You got a 45-day exclusive deal.
See how crazy that is, though. That now
it's just a 45-day theatrical, so it's 45 days. It
reminds me of Game Pass. It's weird. Yeah. It's like these theaters now need to make deals with streaming services. Like, if you guys think about how weird that is.
Well, the theater's not making a deal with the streaming services. They're making deals with Warner Brothers.
Well, yeah, like the company,
the movie company. Yeah.
It's still weird.
It's very weird. Yeah. So
because you already know that movie theaters are threatened by like one thing, and it's the innovation of where movies are headed. And
right,
it's kind of like when Blockbuster Netflix came to Blockbuster to they offered to buy them. Like, hey, do you want to buy us Blockbuster? And Blockbuster was like, huh, no,
Yeah.
which was so dumb.
So
Yeah.
Now you think
the
about
fact
it.
that Paramount's putting them on is supposedly putting them on Paramount Plus after 30 days or 45 days after theatrical release is like, I mean, that's like no time at all. I mean, it used to be like, okay, the theater movie came out, then you got like a 6-month wait or longer, 9-month. Sometimes if it's like a Halloween movie,
Makes
you know,
sense,
you
though.
didn't get
Some
it till the
people are
next Halloween, right? On DVD or on Blu-ray or whatever. And then after that, that was out for a couple months. And then finally you got it like on HBO and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
after more waiting, you finally got it on regular TV, right? So this is like changing the game where, you know, people want the content sooner. They're willing to pay for it via subscription services. The companies are willing to make money. They realize it's a very successful business for them. They're obviously making at least close to as much money as they were before, and they're seeing growth and worth investing in. Now they're throwing a bone back to this movie, back to Regal, saying, okay, we'll do this for 45 days. Now Regal's got to pay for that, right? So how much are they willing to give to try and save their business? Because this is like that's what they got. They have to do
So
something.
this is
in order to save
multiple
it.
movies. This is not like a one.
Yeah, this is Warner Media. So
Anything out of
anything they
Warner.
Yeah.
release.
if you guys want to read the article, it's on IndieWire.com.
Okay.
That's
'Cause
where I
for some
got it.
reason
I'm
I
gonna
was
put it in the
thinking, like,
chat.
It was one movie, but it's not.
Yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, well, guys, this has been a blast.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, this has been
A
fun
lot of
show.
news.
Yeah, it's interesting. If I made any mistakes on getting with this information, I'm sorry. I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to read this stuff and make sense of it because it's very confusing, but it's also interesting because it's we have nothing to go by because there's no precedent for this stuff, right?
If we're
This is
wrong
all
about
new
anything,
territory.
you should have like an email or like a segment where just message us where we are wrong and we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
on the
you know
next
who does
episode.
that is Easy Allies. Do it on their podcast. They do like a corrections segment at the beginning, and this week's corrections, and they go through and
Yeah.
talk about all the corrections.
So if I was wrong about some Spider-Man stuff, 'cause you guys are very passionate about Spider-Man,
Yeah,
and so am I. So I will fight back.
yeah.
Then just like tweet us or something, and we'll talk about it on the next
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. Keep
Who's-
it, because we don't want to give bad or wrong information because that's not what we're trying to do. And, because we're all passionate about movies, comics, TV, everything. So, when we see something that's interesting, we're going to be talking about it, and if the information that is, put out there, and if it's wrong, then, we will talk and correct it. And we
But
will.
if you're wrong, I'm gonna be like, ha.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna bother correcting it unless you tell me to correct it.
I'm
I
just
would, but no, hey, guys, awesome talking to you, 3-Bit and Psychonauts. Chat, you were amazing tonight, guys. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for hanging out. Hello again. It's been great to see you. 3-Bit, tell everybody where they can find you, dude.
Everyone can follow me on Twitter. It's the VGHD. My YouTube channel is the Video Games HD. I am here every Thursday. In the beginning of the day, I am on Mr. Boomstick's show, the Xbox Factor. I'm on Xbox Ultimate every Friday with Mav and the Magnificent Seven. I'm just gonna start saying that now because there's so much of you guys, and I don't want to forget anybody. That's pretty much where you can follow me, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
Right on, dude. And Psychonauts, hey, where can everybody see the mellow fellow from outer space?
I just want to say what an awesome show tonight, and I'm glad that I get to do it with two of my favorite brothers. So thank you guys. This is awesome. You can find me on Twitter and on Xbox at Psychonauts8. Find me here every Thursdays at 10:30, and tomorrow at 9:00 on Xbox Ultimate with the Magnificent Seven, as 3-Bit is that's our name now. So, and then tomorrow I might make an announcement of something. So we'll keep tuned for that. So it's going to be an exciting adventure. So can't wait to tell you guys, and it'll be a good time. Can't wait.
Cool.
Mav, where can they find you, brother?
Like I always say, guys, I'm right here. You can find me on Twitter, Fun Speculation, here on YouTube, Fun Speculation, Xbox Ultimate Podcast, Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. Also on tonight, which is Thursday nights, 10:30 p.m. Eastern for FunPop Podcast. Also on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern is 4GQ TV with the Godfather of Respect Italian Clowns, and awesome podcast and lots of interviews over there. I thank all of you for tuning in and hanging out. It's been an awesome time. I freaking love you all. You rock. Heck yeah. Woohoo. Marvel, DC, HBO, Disney Plus. What a world. What a world. All right. Everybody, you take it easy. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Fun Pop. Fun Pop. Fun Pop.